everybody, I've decided to do this video on cat's ears. Do not squirt anything down your cat's ears, nothing. If you've got that squirter bottle, throw it in the bin. All you need, some cotton buds, a little bit of cotton bud, and just wipe the outer bit of the ear, the outside, and that will do it. And that's all I've used on my Sphinx ears, and that's all you need. So I'm going to go into a story what happened to me many years ago. So I will be a little bit vague on it. I'm going to pull up past memories. It was about Frankie. I brought a Sphinx for me Sphinx girls. So I got all my Sphinx girls first, and I brought Frankie to breed with them so I could have little Sphinx kittens. And little Frankie was absolutely gorgeous. It cost me over £1,000 to buy. He was ticker reg, everything. He was perfect. He used to sit on my head on his little tiny baby. I got photos of him just sitting on top of my head. I was madly in love with him. He was amazing. He was so cute. It was unbelievable. He was just perfect. And then took him vets of his vaccinations. Went well, first vaccinations. My vet then was this man who was extremely very good vet. And then he had to go for his second vaccinations. But this time there was a elderly woman there that was standing in for them because he weren't there this time. And he had his second vaccination. She said his ears are dirty. And she said she was going to show me how to clean his ears. So I was watching intently because I thought, oh, I'll do that. And so she's got this like squirty bottle, really squirted down his ear. It was squirting everywhere, and I was thinking, okay. Best of it though, the man vet said to me, but his ears weren't dirty, and because I did tell him what happened, and I said, yeah, I know. Anyway, so I brought Frank home and he started going in circles. You know how a dog would do, go in circles when they try and chase a tail. And his head was all tilted and he was going round in circles with his head all tilted and wouldn't stop, and his eyeballs were all going round his head round. And I was like, it was really late at night and there was about half an hour before the vets were shut. Grabbed him, picked him up, because he was still spinning, and when I picked him up, his eyeballs were going round. Oh. So, got him in the car, went as fast as I could to the vet. He grabbed him, he goes, what's happened to him? I said, nothing's happened to him. He said, has he had a bang on the head? I said, no, he's not had a bang on the head. He had not had any bang on the head at all. He said, because that usually happens when they've had a big bang on their head. I said, he's not had a bang on the head. And I was in panic then. So he grabs him and he's leaving the vets now. And he puts him in his car and he takes him straight up to the emergency vets. I'll just go back a little bit. Before I had Frankie, I knew he was a very expensive cat. So I paid for this, like, cheapo insurance. I thought, quick, get it done. Go on, go compare. Oh, here's an insurance here. Oh, she's insured for 5,000. Quick, do it. I'll do that. And then when I've got more time, I'll get him a really good insurance. And then also, when I take him for his vaccinations, you can get pet insurance from the vet, from that top insurance pet plan. And I'll get that for him as well. But when I did take him for his first vaccinations, they didn't give me any pet plan insurance for him, and I forgot to ask, because if he's had a vet check and all's well, he can have 5 weeks free pet plan insurance, and I forgot to ask. They didn't give it me, and I didn't get it on the second visit neither. So, yeah, I know, stupid. But I'd got this little cheap one that I'd brought, and then I thought, well, I was going to have theirs on top as well, but at least I could have taken me back. But I was just going to wait until, I know pet plans are expensive, so we're actually going to get him a better insurance later, when I've got more time. Look online and, you know, compare prices and what they give you and all that sort of stuff. He takes Frankie to the emergency hospital, and he's there, and I'm sitting here waiting, and then I realised, oh, I've only got 5,000 insurance, and it's not like time's ticking away, it's pounds ticking away. So this is where it starts getting all fuzzy, when it all starts getting all stressful for me. I can remember he told me to come pick Milo up. I mean, even he said to me, he said, I don't understand, he only saw him a bit ago and he was fine. He said, you got to go take him up that's about an hour away from me. It's a specialist. So I push Frankie in my car and I go driving an hour away, and I go to the specialist and get him booked in. And we spent days there, we had a dinner there. The only thing that we didn't do was sleep there. And then I'd bring Frankie home. And finally, we got a diagnosis. And I was sitting there in the waiting room, saying to my mother, and my family were there, I've only got 5,000 insurance, all this money's going to be gone. And they haven't even given me a diagnosis yet, and I was right. All this money had gone. I was just under 5,000, because I didn't have to pay any extra. It was just like £20 under £5,000. And they took me in the room, gave me the bill. What should I say the bill now? Anyway, I didn't. And I thought, that's all this money gone. And they get for a diagnosis. And they said he's got a pulp in his ear, and which is going to cost 3,000 an ear. They said they weren't sure if he's going to have his second ear done, but definitely one ear has got to be done soon. And do I want to get him booked in? I said, well, I'll go sit in the waiting room, because I said, I'm going to phone my insurance up, but this is £5,000, that's all I'm insured for. He says, okay then, well, if you go sit outside and then I'll come back to you later. I was on the phone to my insurance weren't answering. I don't know why, maybe, I don't know what day it was that day. And then I couldn't get through to my insurance. He called us in, I was still on the phone. I said, do you want me to put the phone out? That's, I haven't got much time after. He goes, yeah. He says, well, do you want it done? I said, well, so I haven't gone to my insurance yet, they're not answering. And it was like £3,000 a year, so that's another 6,000. I mean, what if you're paying this out of your own pocket? I mean, 5,000 for a diagnosis. He's got a pulp in one ear, and it's possibility he's got to have the other ear done, and it's £3,000 a year. Oh, excuse me. So he got booked in for having his ear done, because it was like really long time before I could get his ear done. And I come out, and after hours and hours, the only solution was to have him put down. That's where I was going to get £6,000 from. And who would borrow it me? No one would borrow it me. And I couldn't get a loan. And I was really like fuming, actually. £5,000 for a diagnosis. All my money's gone. But I'll stop. I'll stop for a second. So anyway, I brings Frank home thinking that the only solution is to have him put down, and I did manage to get in touch with my insurance finally, and I explained to him, because I was ready to put in a load of complaints, not that it would have done anything anyway. And I phoned up my insurance. I said, look, I said, Frank's just been in hospital and it's cost £5,000 for just a diagnosis. And I said, well, he's 2 years done, and it's £3 grand a year. He says, you're right. So it's £5 grand a month. And his ears was booked in for the next month. I mean, if I'd got the pet plan off the vets, could have just thrown Frank at him and said, oh, just do what you flaming down want, and then give him me back when he's buried. So I'm like, and when I told me vets, the receptionist, the woman, she couldn't believe it. She says, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm positive. I've phoned him up. He's told me. He's actually told me. She couldn't believe it. She says, are you sure £5 grand a month? I said, yeah, £5 grand a month. So we booked him in for the, I can't remember what insurance it was, but such a relief. So we booked him in, and he had his ear done, and then he didn't need the second ear done. He didn't need that done. His other ear was actually all right, but he ended up with a tilt. So he used to walk with a tilt, or he'd walk with his head on the side. And he had that many antibiotics, and he also was put on steroids, and he also become sterile. He wasn't breedable. So eventually I did rehome him. It was really nice couple had him, and I don't know, I think all the stress, trauma, and keep seeing him with his head tilt, too many memories, and I'd brought him as a stud cat, but he has gone to a good home, and he is fine now. So if you've got any of those squirty bottles that you go squirting down your cat's ears, chuck them all in the bin and don't use them ever again. And thanks for watching, and bye.